Om Sahna Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpattyadihetave तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्म विद्वरम्। हरि ओम, salutations to all. So here we are in the seventh canto. We saw that Prahlad ji was subjected to a lot of methods by which Hiranyakashipu wanted to kill him, and yet they were not able to be successful. And so in the fifth chapter of the seventh canto, we saw that Shanda and Amarka advise Hiranyakashipu that till Shukracharya returns, let Prahlad be sent back to the Gurukul. And they say that there is no reason for you to be morose. You have conquered the three worlds by the very eyebrows of yours. You make a movement of your eyebrows and the Devatas are very scared. And Prahlad is after all a small child. His good or bad qualities won't affect you that much, and they don't have a value. So till Shukracharya returns, arrest him with Varuna Pasha so that he will not flee in fear. Look at their mind. They think that he should not flee out of fear. So Hiranyakashipu agrees, and Shanda and Amarka take him back. They teach him about Artha, Kama, some aspects about Rakshasa Dharma and all that. Prahlad ji hears all that, but he doesn't absorb. When these teachers are not teaching in the free time, the classmates of Prahlad ji, they all are playing together, and they all come around him. They are very respectful to him, and their minds are also not that polluted. So they are surprised actually that how is it that you have been able to not get affected by so many ways by which your father tried to kill you. So the sixth chapter is the upadesha that Prahlad ji is giving. The sixth and so the sixth chapter and seventh also actually is where Prahlad ji gives the upadesha to all of them. Sometimes it is said that this was the first ever Balvihar class. Prahlad ji took Balvihar class for his own batchmates. An interesting thing is that he did not give this knowledge till he was asked, as well as till that efficacy of that knowledge was already proved, where Bhagavan has saved him and his bhakti is there for Bhagavan. And it is evident that what is the power of bhakti, what is the power of surrender to Bhagavan. So when he speaks now, those words have a lot of power. And so in the sixth chapter, he starts instructing these children. Kaumara acharet prajño dharman bhagavataniha durlabham manusham janma tadapi adhruvam arthadam. So he says this human birth is very, very rare. And in this human birth, right from childhood, Kaumara acharet prajña. Wise people start right from childhood. What? Bhagavatam dharman iha. to follow the Bhagavata Dharma. What is Bhagavat Dharma? Bhagavat Dharma is to surrender to Bhagavan. Kayena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami. This is called Bhagavat Dharma. In essence, this is Bhagavat Dharma, complete surrender to Bhagavan. Through body, mind, speech, actions, svabhava, through everything. And he says from childhood one should be following this Bhagavat Dharma. Why? Because in human life alone there is this opportunity. In 84 lakh species, this one human life is opportunity to exit from this cycle of karma, from the cycle of birth and death. Karma binds when we do it with ego and egocentric desires. In human life, we have a choice. I can do it with egocentric desires or without ego and egocentric desires. If I do it with ego and egocentric desires, every karma, because I am the karta, I have to be the bhokta, it will create new karmas. If I do it dedicating it to Bhagavan, the existing karmas will get exhausted and I say I am only an instrument, Bhagavan is the karta. I dedicate karma to Bhagavan and whatever result Bhagavan gives, I accept as prasad. So, Ishwar Arpan Buddhi, Prasada Buddhi and Nimitta Bhav. This is Karma Yoga. And in human life alone, we can do Karma Yoga, which will help us to get out of the cycle of birth and death. And karma becomes Karma Yoga only because of bhakti and surrender to Bhagavan. So that's why Bhagavata Dharma is this. He says from childhood, see, from childhood when this samskara is given, it is easy for children also to connect to Bhagavan. They also have a source of strength. Plus, the big picture is clear. As they grow, one can explain to them slowly about this cycle of karma and how karma binds us, all that. And if one has to, seek any of this power, pleasure, position, prestige, popularity, all that, one may seek through all that, but one will be grounded, humble, and at right time one will be able to let go of all this also. Because these are finally toys in front of infinity and in front of Bhagavan. When the joy of bhakti arises, all this just drops. So he says, Kaumara acharet prajnaha dharman bhagavataniha. Durlabham manusham janma. Because when the next human birth comes, no guarantee of that. It's not that once a human, always a human. So he says this human birth is very rare. And in this life only we can speed up our evolution and come to a state where there is no rebirth. Tadapi adhruvam arthadam. Though it is temporary, human life is very short, it is temporary, but it is still very effective for practicing bhakti. See that. And it will also be that which will provide the artha, the main purpose, which is moksha. So when he says tadapi adhruvam, though it is temporary, arthadam. Arthadam, artha here does not mean wealth. Artha here means the purpose. Like when we say purushartha. So when we say purushartha, purushahi arthyate iti purushartha, that which is desired by human being, there the word artha means desired or what is sought. What is sought by human beings? So artha, kama, dharma, moksha. There the word artha means wealth, prosperity, financial security, all that. Here the word arthadam means the ultimate objective, which is moksha. Artha, kama, dharma, moksha. A human life can be attained, can be used to attain this ultimate artha, which is moksha. So he says this is the purpose of this human life. And he is telling this to all the children. that clarity, the faster one gets that clarity, the better it is. So many young people get dejected, disappointed for small things because the big picture is not clear. The big picture is this, that we have come here to exhaust karma, to evolve, to realize the truth. And moksha is what has to be sought. So, first verse he says this. And when he says the word Kaumara, Kaumara can also mean a young boy or a child who is not yet even teenage. That's what Shankaracharya ji writes in his commentary on Kathopanishad, that Nachiketa is a Kaumara. He is he has not yet attained puberty. No reproductive capacity is there yet. And so he says that, so at that age itself, from childhood itself, one gives this knowledge. And so the child must be anchored in bhakti from childhood. So he says, Kaumara acharet prajna. One may say that, okay, you can start bhakti even in the youth. Why only in childhood? Because childhood, the mind is much more purer, is not much influenced, much easy to mold. And today psychologists and everybody says by the time of 8, 9, the value system is already set. And so it is very important. And please remember always that human life, as he said here, is adhruvam. It is temporary. When the body drops, who knows? The mind has a tendency to go on postponing spiritual sadhana. Not in childhood, then in youth. Then when one comes to youth, then one says, no, I have to bother about career and study and job and opportunities and explore. There's no time. After that, I will do after I get married. Once you get married, then whole samsara starts. Mind will go on postponing. And when the body drops, who knows? So best, that's why he says, Kaumara acharit prajnaha. Then he says that every human being must serve Bhagavan with devotion. Yatha hi purushasyeha Vishnoho pado pasarpanam yadesha sarvabhutanam priya atmeshwara suhrit. That one should serve Bhagavan. Vishnoho pada upasarpanam. Serve the lotus feet of Bhagavan. Do all karmas dedicated to Bhagavan. Why? Because he is sarvabhutanam. He is the Atmeshwara. He is the Lord of all the beings, in the hearts of all the beings. This is 6th chapter, 2nd verse. And he is Suhrit. Bhagavan is Suhrit. Mitra is somebody who is doing good to you in return for the good you did to them. What they say, a friend in need is a friend indeed. But Suhrit is you may not have done anything for that person, but still that person is your well-wisher and does good for you. That is Bhagavan. So he says, Suhrit, Yadesha Sarvabhutanam Priya Atmeshwara Suhrit, Sukhamayindriyakam Daitya Deha Yogena Dehinam Sarvatra Labhyate Devad Yatha Dukkham Ayatnataha. Bhagavan is, Prahlada is saying here that this happiness of the senses, Aindriyakam Sukham, O demons, Daityaha. So he says that this happiness of this can be attained. How? Because of Deha Yogena. Once one is identified with the body, then it is Sarvatra Labhyate Dehinam. This entity, Jiva, can attain this temporary sensual happiness in any birth. So many Bhoga Yonis are there, 84 lakh species, Bhoga Yoni, one Yoni is Karma Yoni. In Bhoga Yoni, one can go on enjoying temporary pleasure. What is the big deal if one is doing that in the human life also? Doesn't mean that one doesn't enjoy life, but one knows this is temporary and one doesn't make that as the goal of life, one doesn't hanker after it and live Bhagavan. That is foolishness. So he says here that this happiness of the senses you can attain in any janma, in any species. Sarvatra labhyate daivat. Some good karmas if one has done, and by the grace of the devatas, one will attain even higher yonis. Even in those, one will get, Deva, Gandharva, Yaksha, Kinnara, all these also, one will get sense enjoyment. Animal, plants, birds, in that anyway there is sense enjoyment. So he says, Sarvatra labhyate daivad, yatha dukkham ayatnatah. Just like one gets dukkha without any effort, one will get sukha also without any effort, meaning temporary desire. They will come, they will go. One will enjoy all these in the uh, other yonis. But human yoni is meant for bhakti. And so he says that why waste this life in pursuing that which is temporary? That's why he says, Tat prayaso na kartavyaha yata ayurvaya param. Hence, don't put efforts for getting this temporary pleasure, especially because it will just destroy ayu. It will destroy your life, your prana shakti, this human life. Ayurvaya param. Great effort you have to put for it. It is not to encourage laziness, but it is to say that turn the focus of the mind. See, na tatha vindate kshemam mukunda charanambujam. There is no other better method to attain the supreme good in this human life than surrender to the feet of Mukunda, lotus feet of Mukunda, Mukunda charanambujam. What is the meaning of Mukunda? Muktim dadati iti Mukundaha. One who gives mukti. If Jiva seeks mukti, Bhagavan gives mukti. If Jiva seeks bhukti, Bhagavan gives bhukti. It is up to the Jiva, especially human life. Even in the Guru Stotram we say, na, bhukti mukti pradatacha. Jiva can get both, bhukti also, mukti also. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. How many people go to the Guru or go to Bhagavan for mukti? Very few. Majority go for bhukti only. Some money, some power, some tender, some position, some family, some issue has to be sorted, some person, it goes on. And the best part is one gets also all that. Desire gets fulfilled also. Still, the mind wants more. One doesn't even think that all this happened by Bhagavan's kripa. He has blessed me with so much and enough. Now I want to be one with Bhagavan only. I want to serve Bhagavan. He who has been so kind, compassionate, and he has blessed me with everything. Leaving him, I am running behind everything else, which is anyway temporary, which I can get in other lives also. Even in the animal realm, there is power or not. There is a struggle. Power is there in that also. Territory is there, are there in that. Fights are there in that. Everything is there. Only mukti is not there. Bhakti is not there. Consciously, one is not able to speed up evolution. So he says that don't run behind these material things. Tat prayaso na kartavya yata ayurvaya param na tatha vindate kshemam mukunda charanambujam. Then he says tato yateta kushalaha kshemaya bhayam ashritaha. Hence, one should put in effort for one's best, what one can attain as best in this human life, and put in that effort. Tato yateta kushalah kshemaya bhayam ashritaha. Shariram paurusham yavan na vipadyeta pushkalam. So he says that when one has fallen into this like a whirlpool, this samsara cycle of birth and death, then when one has fallen into this, then what should one do? Having got a human body, one should strive to get out of this. Kushalaha kshemaya bhayamashritah. Having got this human body, yavan na vipadyeta pushkalam. So one should attain this mukti before this body perishes. Otherwise, one is caught in a whirlpool of transmigration. So these 5 verses, very, they are the essence actually of this whole upadesha that he gives to his batchmates. Then he continues this further. This 5 only now he will elaborate. This is like the principle he has given. Now he will elaborate these 5. Now you see. The division of the age, how many years one lives. Generally one says 100 years. So these 100 years of human life of somebody who has not controlled the senses, how they will be, that he gives here. Pumso varsha shatam hyayuhu tadardham cha ajitatmanah nishphalam yadasau ratriyam shetendham prapitas tamaha mugdhasya बाल्ये कौमारे क्रीडतो याति विंशतिः जरया ग्रस्तदेहस्य यात्यकल्पस्य विंशतिः दुरापूरेण कामेन मोहेन च बलीयसा शेषं गृहेषु सक्तस्य प्रमत्तस्यापयातिः. For somebody who has not controlled their senses, in general, how do they spend their 100 years? One account he has given just to make us realize ki where is the time. So he says 50 years are gone in sleep, meaning half. See that. Ardham nishphalam yadasav ratyam. One is either asleep. Hey, Swami, 12 hours, who is sleeping? As a child, one sleeps for a long time. 12, 16 hours, the child is sleeping only. 1. 2, even if one says, no, I am not sleeping so much time. Sleep doesn't mean only little physical sleep. There are so many times where one is not aware. Even actions one is doing, the mind is just lost. That all is a nidra only, where consciously I am not doing. Mechanically I am doing. So he says 50 years are gone in sleep. Then he says, Mugdhasya balye kaumare kridato yati vimshati. 20 years are gone in what? In childhood, in sporting, in youth, and 20 years in old age. How many are gone? 90 years are gone. 50 gone in sleep, 20 gone in youth and sport and all that. Means childhood and youth, 20 gone in that. These are waking hours, huh, then? Waking hours meaning this is a life, because 50 hours are already, 50 years already gone in sleep. So sleep time is all over. Now waking time, 20 years gone in childhood and youth, 20 years with family life, and 5-10 years in that old age. 90 years are over. Now you see here. He says, this whole human life is wasted like this, without any bhakti time. No, Swami, will have time for bhakti. You calculate and see. Even if you do 1 hour per day, you calculate how many years that will be. If a life of 100 years, 1 hour per day if you do, maximum that also. Many people don't do even that much. 20 minutes also they won't be able to do. And not that from 100, from the childhood onward one is doing. Many people don't realize whole life also goes like that. Suppose one says, okay, at least 50 years I have done. So you calculate 365 into 50. that many hours, divide that by 24. How much time it is for bhakti compared to whole 100 years of life? Hardly anything. Is 1/24th, na? Because 1 hour per day. 1/24th of one's life in terms of hours, if you see. So he says whole life goes in this, and then he goes on to explain that when there is no control on the senses and one lives, then one is definitely bound by strong attachments, aversions, raga, dvesha, all that will be there. And how can that person even hope for any liberation when there is no effort being put for seeking mukti, to surrender to Bhagavan? And he says that who can give up this desire? See that. कौन कौन वर्थ तृष्णाम विसृजेत प्राणेभ्योऽपि य ईप्सितः यम क्रीणात्य सुभि यम क्रीणात्यसुभिः प्रेष्ठैस्तस्करः सेवको वणिक. An analogy he has given. This is the 10th verse. That who can give up this thirst for wealth, which is coveted more than life itself? Asubhi, see that. Yam krinati asubhi preshtaihi. Are we not running behind wealth in such a way that putting aside balance of life, putting aside exercise, putting aside, even family time, relationships? What is said? First 50 years, we spend our health to gain the wealth. Next 50 years, we are spending that wealth to gain the health. What is this human life? Think about that. So he's giving that analogy. That time itself we gave that analogy. Nowadays, how much more it is applicable in Kali Yuga? That one is seeking wealth more than one's own life also. And which a thief as well as a servant and a merchant purchases in exchange for his most beloved life. See that. What we just spoke. Put in hard work to get the wealth, and then spend that wealth to purchase the health. What is this? Whole life went only in this. Then he says, so mind is attached to wealth, mind is attached to senses, now mind is attached to people. Katham priyaya anukampitaya sangam rahasyam ruchiranscha mantran suhritsu chas snehasita shishunam kalaksharanam anurakta chittaha. So he says the mind is attached to the relatives, bound by the affection of these small children who are, who are lisping. Someone finds it, oh, so cute. And attached to his wife, children, relatives, bound by all these. Again, the point is not that one should not be loving to them, but in the attachment to them, one puts aside everything else. So he is attached to wealth, the person is attached to power, to senses, and to his people, to his family, to the wife, and all of them. Then, remembering his sons and those beloved daughters who have got married, who have gone to their in-laws' house, brothers, sisters, then his parents who have become very elderly. Some of them have very many health challenges also. And he is remembering all of these people, and plus his house with so many things that he has accumulated through his hard work, so his furniture and the animals and the servants and the things. How can one renounce all this attachment? And then to maintain all this, one keeps doing karma with so much of greed. And like a silkworm, how silkworm is caught in its own saliva, like that one has created this whole samsara, bondage for oneself. Again, I'm saying this, the family life or the people or the things by themselves are not going to bind. We allow ourselves to get bound, like that silkworm from its own saliva creates Like that, we only by our own thought bondage, attachment, we create the bondage. Otherwise, by itself, these things don't bind. Attachment is self-induced. One may say, no, no, it is because of them I am attached. No, we are attached because of ourselves only. Somewhere we feel lesser and then we want to cling, then without that I can't be happy, so we get attached. Bhaktas also live in the same world, but they have a sense of fullness, they have a sense of surrender, so they don't get attached to anyone or anything. They are only holding on to Bhagavan. They also live amidst people, amidst various things. Nothing binds. Why? People are the same, but their heart is purified. So then they don't feel the need for dependency. So he says now the common man goes through all this attachment like a silkworm and thinking highly of pleasures relating to carnal pleasures and the palate, these two pleasures, the tongue and the reproductive organ, very attached to the pleasures of both these. How will he get vairagya? How will he feel disgusted with them? Because the desires are not getting fulfilled. Meaning, desires get fulfilled, but the desirer is still there, so the desires keep increasing more and more. It's not that the person has not eaten enough food or had any reproductive enjoyments. Everything one has gone through, all children, this, that, everything is there. Still, the mind doesn't want. That is the power of Maya, and that's the power of one's own attachments also. Fond of his family, the careless fellow does not perceive his life is wearing away. See that. Kutumba poshaya viyan nijayuhu nabudyate artha vihatam pramattaha. Doesn't even realize that the life is going in this. Before one realizes one is already old and it's time to go. Just think. Because all these things, other things are keeping one busy. And he doesn't realize life is wearing away. In all the endeavor to maintain the family and his real purpose, that is God realization, is not, one has not even understood that. And contradiction here is what? Spending so much time, one is still frustrated. See that. Endeavor to maintain his family, nor his real purpose, so he is frustrated. And even though his mind remains afflicted by three kinds of agony everywhere, he never gets sick of them. This Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik, all the three types of tapas which are there, one goes on experiencing this, but still one doesn't get vairagya. See that. And many times one knows also that what I am doing is adharma, it is wrong. Still the attachment pushes him. See that. Though knowing that the sin attaching here as well as hereafter because of misappropriating others' wealth, the householder whose mind is ever intent on accumulating riches, nevertheless takes away others' wealth because the senses are not controlled, knows very well that this I should not do. Loot others, cheat others, manipulate them, get their wealth, enjoy out of that. One knows it is wrong, but why one is doing it? Because senses are not in control, mind is not anchored in dharma, one has not surrendered to Bhagavan. So he says one goes on doing. Then there are attachments of I and mine. These are my people, these are not my people. And because of that type of attachment, the mind is not able to turn within to realize the self. Because raga and dvesha, when they are there, mind will be pulled by raga and repelled by dvesha. And even the one whom one is hating, the mind is occupied by their thoughts. So either way, the mind is occupied. Thoughts of the people whom one is attached to, or thoughts of people whom one is having aversion towards. Gossiping, backbiting, pulling them down, or plotting to take some revenge, do something wrong against to them. Where is the time to surrender to Bhagavan or think about the Atma? It is not there. And so he tells them that even though sometimes people may be learned in scriptures, meaning they have got scriptural knowledge, but they have not purified their heart. Knowledge alone is not enough if we don't purify the heart, don't become selfless, kind, compassionate, surrender to Bhagavan. If none of those have come, sadhana is not being done, then no matter how much knowledge one may have, purity of mind is more important. Then only the knowledge will apply and knowledge will actually bring about the transformation. So he says that though one may be learned, that person is likely to suffer in hell like any other deluded person. Oh, then what is the power of this knowledge? The knowledge is important only when, knowledge is effective only when the mind is purified. The intent matters. No? The action is being done by the intent, and my intent is selfish, adharmic. I may have enough knowledge, but if I'm doing adharmic things, I will get the karma phala of that. Which is why clarity and purity must go together. So he says here that they will suffer in the dark regions in hell. And then he says, since none who is extremely passionate and a veritable toy dear for the diversion of lustful women, in whom are forged fetters in the form of offspring, is ever and anywhere capable of liberating his soul. Bound by lust, bound by the opposite gender, by the children, this person won't get mukti. Therefore, one should avoid. He is telling this. Prahlada is telling to all the daityas. You see that? Tato vidurat parihritya daityaha daityeshu sangam vishayatmakeshu upeta narayana madidevam samukta sangaihi ishito apavargaha. Apavarga means mukti. Apavarga is a symbol of bandhan. One who frees us from this pavarga is apavarga. Apavarga is mukti. Apavarga is name of Bhagavan also. Shivji's one name is apavarga. Apavarga pradonantaha taraka parameshwaraha. Apavarga pradaha, that is a name. Even apavarga moksha is state of Bhagavan only. That is also name only. So the point is, why is pavarga bondage? Pa is for parabhava or parishram, whichever one wants to take. Lot of karma one does and that karma only binds. Or parabhava also means defeat, dejection, disappointment. Pa. Ha is phala, karma phala. Karma phala will also keep creating new bodies for us. Ba is for all our attachments, bandhana, to people, to things, to situations. Bha is bhaya, fear. And ma is mrityu, death. All these five are binding. So he says, Prahlada says, you be far away from these lustful things, be far away from attachments, and be far away from the company of such daityas who are sensually indulgent. And then what to do being far from all these? Take refuge of Narayana. He is so clearly telling them. Hiranyakashipu is telling everybody, worship me alone. Don't worship Narayana. In fact, he is destroying the yajnas, yagas, destroying the people who are doing sadhana, who are worshipping Bhagavan. He is killing all of them. And the son is saying, surrender to Narayana. Till now, he was alone chanting Narayan, Narayan, and he was surrendered. Now he is spreading it. So now it becomes like a, revolt. The Praja can revolt against the Raja. That's why Hiranyakashipu will get threatened further if you see. So he's telling all the Daityas, you surrender to Narayana. Who is this Narayana? Most ancient. See that. Narayanam Adidevam. And what will he do? He is the only one who will give you freedom from all this bondage. And those who seek mukti, they generally surrender to Narayana, and Bhagavan only blesses them because he is Mukunda. He gives them mukti. Then he says, what is the benefit? Why should we surrender to Narayana? So he says that Nahi Achyutam Prinayato Bahu Ayaso Asuratmajaha Atmatvad Sarvabhutanam Siddhatvad Iha Sarvataha. There is not great effort. You just have to surrender. It is not that Narayana is somebody else. Narayana is your own Atma. Each being's Atma is Narayana. So he is already in you as your true self. It's not somebody out there. So clear is his mind, you see, that there is not much exertion to him who is engaged in propitiating immortal Lord. He being the very self of all the created beings and present everywhere in this world. Before he told Hiranyakashipu that Bhagavan is everywhere, he already told once, Smaranam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, all that. What he is telling these children, he has already told Hiranyakashipu before, that surrender to Bhagavan Vishnu. He is the only Supreme Lord. He is the self of all. He is all pervasive. And then he also told how to surrender. 9 methods he gave. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Mandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam, all that he gave. Pada Sevanam, everything he gave. Father didn't listen. Now the same thing he is telling all the others. It's not that he has hidden this from his father. He is telling Bhagavan is the self of all, and you serve, you surrender to that Bhagavan, and he is everywhere present. And there is no division of high, low, or anything like that. That same Bhagavan in all the created beings, high and low, commencing from the immobile creation and culminating in Brahma. In everything, in all the 5 gross elements, in 3 gunas, in Prakriti, in Mahat Tattva, everything, there is only one transcendental spirit that exists. And that Supreme Lord is almighty, is most powerful, is imperishable, indescribable, undifferentiated. Though he is all pervading in the entire world, he can be realized only in the heart as your own true self. And so he says here that Kevala Anubhava Nanda Roop Keval Anubhava Ananda Swarupaha Parameshwaraha. You go on to experience Parameshwara as Ananda Swarupa. Mayaya Antar Hitaishwarya. He is in your heart, but as though covered by Maya. Iyate Guna Sargaya. So he is as though covered by this Maya, concealed by this Maya, and this Maya gives rise to the whole duality creation. But he is the Lord of that Maya, and he is in your own heart. So he says that this Supreme Lord, how will you realize? You give up all the demonic disposition, give up all the tamasic nature. Tasmat sarveshu bhuteshu dayam kuruta saurudam. Be compassionate, kind to all the beings. Live thinking about their well-being. And drop this asuric bhav. Asuram bhavam unmuchya. You drop it. Useless. This is asuri tendency to exploit and kill and loot and destroy. Yaya tushyati adhokshajaha. If you drop this evil tendencies and if you live in kindness, compassion and serve everybody, Bhagavan will be highly pleased and will reveal. And when that Supreme Lord is highly pleased, then what is that which is not attainable? Everything is attainable by the grace of that Supreme Lord. It's not that one will lose. If one thinks that by dropping the asuri tendencies, I will become poor, I will not be successful. No. He says you will attain everything by the grace of Bhagavan. And what is the use of our worrying over religious merit, which come by karma when we do with the right attitude? The religious merit also will come, but they are a part of three gunas. Why run behind them? You take refuge of Bhagavan. And sometimes, so one line he says here, don't even seek mukti, just be devoted to Bhagavan. Everything else is secondary. Don't run after mukti also, he says. Why? Because Bhagavan will bless you with whatever you need. If mukti has to be given, that also he will give. Those who enjoy the nectar of his lotus feet and are ever singing his praises, they don't even hanker after mukti. So he has placed bhakti above mukti, saying you just be surrendered and you be devoted to Bhagavan. Imagine, this is what he is telling all this. First he told them about mukti, why it is important, why human life, mukti is most necessary, all that, to strive for it. Then he goes one step ahead and he says that mukti also Bhagavan only will give. Don't run after it. Some Mahatmas, they always say that Maya is a dancer, Maya is a nartaki. And because she is a dancer, she makes everybody dance to her tunes. How will you overcome this Maya? Do Kirtan, chant Bhagwan's name, do Bhakti of Bhagwan. If you do Kirtan, this nartaki called Maya can be overcome. So that's what he's saying here, that you just do Bhakti, don't even run after Mukti. You sing Bhagwan's name and you surrender to his lotus feet. This Artha, Kama, Dharma, as well as Moksha, all this, with all whatever worldly knowledge of political science and logic and rituals and all this, he says all this is true and beneficial only if it helps us to surrender to Bhagavan. If they don't help us to surrender to Bhagavan, all this is useless. So he says, now how did he get all this knowledge? So he's explaining here this Jnanam tadetad amalam Duravapamaha Narayano Narasakha Kila Naradaya. See that. That Bhagwan Narayana himself, along with Nara and Narayana, they gave this knowledge to Naradji. Narayano Narasakha Kila Naradaya. This knowledge, which is purest knowledge, which is very difficult to attain, this knowledge was given by Bhagwan Narayana, Nara Narayana, to Naradji. Ekantinam Bhagavatas tad akinchananam padaravinda rasapluta dehinam syat. So he says that supreme knowledge which Naradji had got, which is not easy to attain, it can, however, be easily attained by all the embodied beings who have bathed in the lotus feet, in the dust of the lotus feet of bhaktas, and who claim nothing to be their own. In Bhagavatam, this will keep coming again and again. The dust of the lotus feet of the devotee, meaning to be humble and to seek company of such bhaktas who have realized oneness with Bhagavan, is most rare, and most blessed is a person who gets this company and is humble to serve such devotees. So he says that such devotees like Naradji, who have gained this knowledge from Bhagavan, the dust of their lotus feet, if one gets, then all this knowledge will come to that person. And so he says that this great knowledge I received from Naradji. Shrutam Etan maya purvam jnanam vijnana sanyutam. This knowledge and experience, jnanam and vijnanam, both I have got from Naradji. Dharmam Bhagavatam Shuddham, and this purest Bhagavata Dharma, Naradat Deva Darshanat. I got it from Naradji himself. So, who has seen Bhagwan? Deva Darshanat. Naradji has got it from Bhagwan and I got it from Naradji. So this knowledge he has got in Parampara, Guru Shishya Parampara. And he says that now how he got it, all that he will explain. So the children are very curious that where did you meet Naradji? So these children, Daitya Putraha Uchuhu. So these children, they ask him, Prahladatvam Vayam Chapi Nartenyam Vidmahe Gurum Etabhyam Guruputrabhyam Balanam Api Hi Ishwarau Balasyanta Purasthasya Mahat Sango Duranvayaha Chindina Samshayam Saumya Syad Ched Vishrambha Karanam. They are very surprised. They say, "Oh, how did you get from Naradji? We all are studying in the same Gurukul. Naradji never came to our Gurukul. And you have been studying with us for a full time. We have seen you all the time with us. Where did you learn this from Naradji?" See that. Because these two, Shukracharya's son, Shanda and Amarkar, they have been only teaching us. And they have been our masters since we were infants. And when did you get association with Naradji, such an exalted soul? And when you were infant? And how is it that Naradji can teach you when Hiranyakashipu and all of them are there? So he says, you please resolve this doubt. Now, how did he get this knowledge? That is the 7th chapter. There Prahlada gives his backstory. That how did he gain this knowledge when he was in the womb? That we will take up in our next class. For today I will stop here. Any questions? Okay.
प्रिया प्रीतम की मंगल प्रीति रीति धूम की मंगल कांति हसनी दसलन की मंगल मुरली दीना धुन की मंगल आरती मंगल बनिक त्रिभंगी हरि की मंगल सेवा सब सहचर की मंगल सिर चंद्रिका मुकुट की मंगल छवि नयन में अटकी मंगल आरती पभी अंग अंग की मंगल गौर श्याम रंग की मंगल अति कटि पियरे पट की मंगल चितमयी नागर नट की मंगल आरती मंगल शोभा कमल नयन की मंगल माधुरी मृदुल पैन की मंगल वृंदावन मद अटकी मंगल क्रीडन जमुना तट की मंगल आरती मंगल चरण अरुण तरुवन की, मंगल करनी भगति हरिजन की, मंगल जुगल प्रिया बामन की, मंगल श्री राधा जीवन की, मंगल आरती प्रिया प्रीतम की, मंगल प्रीति रीति गोविंद की, मंगल आरती, मंगल आरती। राधा वर कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। ओम न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम्, नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतो यमग्निः, तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं, तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की।
ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। Okay. Yes, Jyotsna ji.
Hari Om Swamiji, like you said, Prahlad said that God is everywhere and within us. Also, so could we use an analogy that oxygen is everywhere, yet within us, and we survive because of it, but we aren't actually conscious of it. It is there. So now, how does one? I'm just trying to just make my mind a little clearer. How does one now experience the God within? Because we know He's everywhere.
So Bhagavan is in the heart as the very self, na? So aham,
Yeah.
aham, aham, that Spurana is what is the Lord. So one has to be aware of that, that which illumines my thoughts, which illumines my prana, my body actions, is the infinite consciousness. That awareness is important.
That's Swamiji, we know now. We've been studying for so many years. We know because that is that consciousness which is behind that. That's a given. But now, how do you reach that stage where you actually
There's
experience
nothing
in the
to
heart?
reach, Amma. There's nothing to reach. You are already that. So that you have to withdraw from the body, mind, intellect identification. That's the whole process of meditation. Where
Okay.
you drop, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. So when you drop all the attachments, what remains is pure consciousness.
So it's
That's
through.
the process. That's the only way it can be done. It can't be done through any other method.
So like bhakti. So how would you integrate bhakti and meditation? And like you're saying, we're not the body, we're not the mind, we're not the, like what you said, the body, mind, intellect. We're
First,
none
you
of
choose
these.
a path.
Hmm.
You choose a path first.
Yeah.
Whether you want bhakti or whether you want jnana marg. Once you choose a path, each path has their method. The process of withdrawal and identifying oneself as Sachidananda and remaining as a Sakshi throughout is the Jnana Marg path. In Bhakti, you do this, what is said. Completely surrender to Bhagavan and say, I am not the Karta, I am not the Bhokta, Bhagavan alone is the Karta, I am the servant of the divine, and drop the ego totally. And in meditation, when you are doing Nama Japa or singing any bhajan, stotram, kirtan, whatever it is, surrender completely the ego. What remains will be the consciousness. Whether
Okay.
you do it through bhakti or whether you do it through process of withdrawal, the ultimate point is the same. One has to drop attachment to BMI.
Okay.
Whichever is easier, that one has to do through that.
So even when one is say going through the Gyan Marg, you will withdraw everything. Like you said, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect. You'll naturally use say a vision of the Krishan Bhagwan, say for me. You'll start with invoking that image, and then you let go of everything after that. And you say, I'm not body, I'm not mind, I'm not intellect.
You are mixing both the paths now. If you want to do that, you can do. Otherwise, I said very clearly, choose your path
Okay.
and follow one, because that is easier to do. If you want to do with form to make the mind quiet and then drop all the forms and then come to consciousness, that also is okay. But you have to choose which one.
Okay. Got it. Thank you for the clarification, Swamiji.